In the middle of the path into the woods, in front of the gate, stood a radiant beauty, clothed in classical Greek attire, bow and quiver at the ready. She stood larger than life itself. Flanked by a stag on one side and a bear on the other, her dark hair flowed in the breeze, and the joy of freedom sparkled in her dark eyes, while a hunting dog sat dutifully at her feet. Feminine strength, wisdom, and grace shone around her. I am Artemis, daughter of Zeus, twin sister of Apollo, and the goddess of hunting, wild animals, and the wilderness. I have come to speak of your journey. Should you continue, this path of change will guide you to think differently and be willing to perceive your world differently. This will not only raise your vibration, but open doors that many believe do not exist. It will change your awareness to all that is around you. Be aware that the actual work of change is done from the point of the physical, not spiritual aspects. Let me explain. As a spiritual being, you came to this planet to experience physical reality for any number of reasons. But now that you are here, you must learn how to live here optimally. You can only transcend the physical once it is deeply known and mastered. Raising vibrations and expanding consciousness offers possibilities to master physical realities, leading you to allow more aspects of your spiritual essence into the physical world where it is needed. This then culminates in raising the vibration of the planet as a whole, as more humans are engaged in this activity. Do you understand the rippling effect of this? I nodded, and she continued. All humans as a whole need to raise their vibrations. This means a transformation of all of their energies, emotions, and thoughts that are of lower vibrations based in fear. Not a task easily accomplished, nor one done hastily. Humans are locked into a world of daily survival that requires so much energy that the idea of raising their vibration is unthinkable. Perhaps they can do it in spurts, but many are so exhausted it seems impossible. But here you are, and ready to try. Your first lesson in learning to think differently is here, before entering the woods. Look down. Look down and see the dandelions. Many consider them weeds to be killed before seeding their lawns with grass. But they are one of the first food sources for the pollinating bees in spring. Have you ever noticed that dandelions only grow where people live? That's because they were specially developed for the human species to be food and medicine, not just something to make a wish on. Some people make tea of their leaves, or make dandelion wine. Sadly, their usefulness is greatly misunderstood and underutilized. Another idea you may want to consider as you travel through this forest is a favorite quote of mine by W.H. Auden. Quote, religious people, people of faith, with the capital F, look at that forest and what do they see? They see trees, thousands of individual trees standing separate and alone. They may even think of the forest as a dark and forbidding place. But there is more going on than what is obvious. Way more. Buried underground lies a vast root system that you would never know existed. It is this root system that sustains life above ground, but because you can't see it, you have to take it on trust that it's there. You must have faith that it's there. Faith with a small f. Of course, when you look at it this way, those thousands of trees are all of a sudden not separate at all. They intricately unified, interconnected, and all sprouting from the same source. Well, that's how God is. God is not the trees. He's the root system operating unseen, providing source energy to feed, coordinate, and join everything together into one big whole. The trees are the product of all the good work that is being put in below ground. They contain the life force that is God, which basically makes the whole forest a physical manifestation of God's work." Unquote. She paused for a long time so we could absorb the deep meaning of those words. So, like the trees, people may be individuals, but are not alone or separate, because of the force that is called love. By splintering and inhabiting each person internally, unites humans with the trees and with all of life, connected and blended into one creation through the love within as the dominant energy throughout. Love is the glue between every cell of every living thing. It is the predominant mode of communication and the very foundation of well-being. In addition, the trees ask that you remember that each gathering of trees is a community with grandfathers and grandmothers, as well as their young, the burls and saplings. They ask that you remember to ask permission to come into their home as you would another human being. This shows respect for the life within and good upbringing. They ask that you remember to not harm any living thing, for each is precious in the eyes of the One. Touch them, hug them, and talk to them. They miss the human interaction that both once enjoyed. And please remember to thank them for their hospitality when you leave. If you are ready to proceed, please come in." She opened the gate and we walked through. She raised her hands in blessing, saying, "This message is from the trees and me. We love you. We bless you. We honor you. We welcome your love in return. Our blessing to you is deep and abiding love." She then shut the gate behind us and quickly faded into the scenery with her companion animals.